to life. Hammer away. Got my blessings every day. I have a lucky man's PhD. Take nothing for granted. Came to rock the land of the free. Share the stage of my brethren. It's a home, a good place to be. I can't live a life that's driven by social vices as far as my sacred home. I don't have a maybe calling me away, but my Viking love makes the stage my home. Drifting to the edge of blue, falling harder than I ever did before. Feeling like there's a touch of magic that shakes me to my core. Drifting to the edge of blue, into the edge of blue. Drifting to the edge of blue, falling harder than I ever did before. Feeling like there's a touch of magic that shakes me to my core. Drifting into the edge of blue, into the edge of blue. Drifting to the edge of blue, falling harder than I ever did before. Feeling like there's a touch of magic that shakes me to my core. Drifting to the edge of blue, into the edge of blue.
Well, now, look where you found yourself. This is Hammer Away, and I'm Viking Stew. Let's get hammered.
What's up, guys? This is Jaron Galino with Lynch Mob, and I'm hanging with Viking Stew on the Hammer Away Show.
Man, it's good to hear all that again. Welcome back for more, shall we say, here on the Hammer Away Show. That's right. You know, things are finally leveling out, and the war is ending.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Whew. All right, well, let's get this thing off of here. Hello, it is me. It really is. Hello. Welcome back to the Hammer Away Show. So tonight we got some things we need to unpack. And it's just great. Had a great rehearsal on Monday night with my fellow musicians from Edge of Blue. I thought I'd get you started with that. Thank you, JW. Appreciate that track. It throws in a little bit on Go Game Go as well, which we just did earlier tonight. And my good buddy Jeff. So make sure you're getting over there too, because man, he is killing it on our channel. That Go Game Go, man. He is going through the Switch 2 games and just killing it. Man, I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot of gameplay. It's awesome. Like me, it's like totally about music all the time and some game stuff too. You know, so I do love my games, but hey, it's great to be back here. It's great to have you guys here. Chime in if you got anything you want to ask while I'm going through with these few things. I don't want to take up too much time tonight. Do need some sleep. Got to get some more things done tomorrow. But like I say, it's great to have all the rooms kind of where they should be, getting ready to do some of the finalizing around the house. We got to fix our fence. Guys, I don't know if you've been through any storm damage, but yuck. So anyway, going to fix the fence, got to do some work up in one of the closets upstairs, got the backsplash to put on in the kitchen, all that kind of stuff. So made a call to our guy the other day, so he's going to be coming out and helping us with that. And a light, got to put in a light too. So anyway, it's all good stuff. So since we last saw each other, which was after Ozzy's passing, we've lost some other folks in the meantime as well. It's just kind of an interesting time. I mean, it's almost like the heck with 3. I mean, there's a lot more. So, and we were just discussing it tonight briefly on Go Game Go about how many folks are left from the WKRP lineup, and then asking who's going to be the last person standing in that group. So we'll see. We'll kind of dive into that some other time. It was a great show, WKRP in Cincinnati. I don't know if you ever watched it, but if you haven't, it's a fantastic show. When they released it before, they couldn't put a lot of the songs in it that were licensed to the show originally. So when they put it on DVD before, they had to put in other songs, which it kind of made it, sorry, I got me an itch in my eye. It kind of made it a little weird when you have a certain scene that is legendary for having Foreigner playing at the same time as Les Nessman's getting ready for his date night. So with Jennifer. So it just kind of, hot-blooded. You can't change that to a song that you have no clue about. You're like, well, what song is this? So anyway, they did that. They've had to do that with lots of shows. Hunter, they had to do that. I bought some on DVD, and the original music is all taken out and other stuff is put in, which is, I mean, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. And it also gives other musicians a chance to have their music heard in those shows because of the licensing and how expensive it would be. So nothing wrong with that. It's just odd when you've heard it a different way. So that's all I'm saying. So let's get started with some of the things that I found. Some of the things that I've got are pickups. Now, I'm trying to see, this is a new camera setup. We got a new setup behind me here. So it could be a little off. Maybe I could turn this a little bit more that way. And then if I went just a little bit further, you'll see something that I picked up recently. This is something that I got in my childhood for Christmas. And I found it at a comic shop the other day. And it's the 1976 Marvel calendar. This was the second one as far as I know. In 1974, they put out a book called The Origins of Marvel Comics. And it had a certain number of superhero and superhero groups in it. But it didn't have, it didn't have everybody in it, but Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Captain America, some others. So that was a cool book. I got it in hardback, and recently I just got another copy in paperback. So, but when I was at the comic shop the other day getting some magazine bags, because I have some magazines that I can sell, and others that I want to just keep in good condition. I said I shouldn't look around because I know I'll find something, and damn it, I did. So this was in 1976, right? Came out. I got it for Christmas '75, and it's the bicentennial. So it's got all these. I mean, this is weird stuff. I mean, it's got all of these superheroes that are in. Look at that. There you go. Like the Hulk as George Washington. Okay, and it's just wild. There you go. Black Panther storming out from the boat. They do this one a lot. They had a lot with this. Black Panther storming out in one of the boats, and the Hulk as George Washington. Because where's the other one? There was one where Captain America is like, I think there's one where I think they're sailing to America. It's the Invaders. And so it's just kind of wild. It was really wild. Here you go. Here's here's Conan going over the revolutionary, helping the Revolutionary War there. Conan. So that's a Gil Kane. Gil Kane drew that one. There's Thor, of course, lightning, Ben Franklin. So anyway, it's kind of wild. There's Spider-Man helping out with some cannonballs there, on the ship, and there you go. Captain America and in front of the Declaration of Independence. Kind of cool. That was a T-shirt. I actually owned that on a T-shirt. So yeah, Fantastic Four. I don't know who all has seen that movie. I haven't, and I don't know if I plan to. But the only issue with it, a smudge. It's some marker schmutz on the back there. So yeah, that was it. But I have this. It's all torn apart, and I pulled them apart when I was a kid, and you hang them all up on the wall. So that's the way that is. And now another thing that I got, I gave my brother the copy that I didn't need anymore, is I did pick up a copy of Song for America, the remastered by Kansas. This was the second record, the first album with artwork by Peter Lloyd. It's great record. And the first record by Jeff Glixman. First album was not produced by Jeff Glixman. My friend, I'll say hello to some folks tonight. First of all, to Sarah. We went the other day, and we did a little bit of shopping at the thrift store. So I don't know if you guys like the thrift shop, but it's cool. I love it because I can find some funky DVDs and things like that. Also a big shout out to my friend Taylor, who I just was telling about the show the other day, and hopefully she'll be able to catch this, and hopefully I'll be able to catch my gig coming up too. Also my buddy Alex, and he and I were talking some metal the other day, and we were talking some Metallica because he's really been into Metallica lately. But he's really into everything before the Black Album, and wasn't really an overall big fan of the Black Album. But he said he's got to check out some of the stuff again, because he says, let's face it, I can't just live off the 4 records for the rest of the time. My buddy Matt, been doing a lot of work with my buddy Matt down at his wood shop. But and also a big shout out to Kaylee. Now, it's been a little while ago, but Kaylee and I were talking about this show, and she was taking my call about some a big trash haul that I needed to have done, and when I heard her name, I said, "Ooh, were you named after the song, Kaylee?" Because I have met a woman. I've met a woman who was named for the song Melissa, and I met a woman who was named after the song Kaylee. And by Marillion. So if you haven't heard that song, check it out. It's brilliant. So anyway, but I told her I was going to get back to the show. She's like, well, just do it tonight, and I hadn't. So anyway, a little something for her for whenever she gets around to checking out the show. So anyway, back to Sarah and I went, and we like to go to the thrift shop. There's one right by her house. And of course I went on Tuesday because that's when I get a discount. So anyway, we just like to hang out and talk. And we go there and we do our civil duty by by looking through the DVDs. I love looking through DVDs and finding some interesting stuff, especially as cheap as it is. So I did find this. I found this Beatles. It is an unauthorized thing about the bio about them. But who knows? It's probably going to be, I don't know. I have the Complete Beatles. That's a wonderful movie. If you've not seen the Complete Beatles and you just want to sit down and learn about the Beatles, that's a fantastic movie. I have it on VHS, and then I converted that to a DVD. But then it has Fun with the Fab Four. So I've gotten stuff like this before, and it's like there was one about home movies with Elvis, and it was about a family that he used to go and visit. So it was interesting enough, but after a while, you're just like, okay. They also had this. This was season 1, volume 1 of Drew Carey's time on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Great show. Funny stuff. Love these. I have one other season from the British version of it. Just freaking awesome. Now, I got into some Bruce Lee stuff a couple of years ago. I started getting back into the Bruce Lee stuff and wanting to check it out, especially with the stupid way that they treated Shang-Chi, which is supposed to be like Bruce Lee, right? That's what they modeled him after when they did the comics. So I purchased a couple of things recently, but then these were at the thrift store. I found this, which is a vintage movie classics, Fighting Fists of Bruce Lee. So it's got Fists of Fury, The Real Bruce Lee, Fists of Fear, Touch of Death. So there you go. I really, some people like horror B flicks, and I dig these. I dig some of these karate films. I haven't really gotten too far into it, but then these were part of a box set. And so there's Way of the Dragon, which was cool there. And then Fists of Fury, which I do believe was on the other one, right? And The Big Boss. So I thought these were worth the few bucks that they cost to pick them up and have and have them. Sometimes with some of this stuff, I don't have to worry about having it on Blu-ray because sometimes the quality doesn't necessarily go up on a Blu-ray. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just like that. Well, let's see what else we got here. Let's pull the packages. I also was very fortunate to find Lost Horizon for a friend. I'll give her a shout out. Hi, Catherine. How are you? And she told me about that movie. She said when she was little, she watched it with her grandma. Lost Horizon. It's a Frank Capra film from, I think it's 1937. And it's about the whole Kubla Khan, Xanadu kind of thing. So yeah, if you're into those kind of shows, black and white, some people just don't like black and white films. I don't know. I'm cool with them. If they're good films, I'm in. Wow. Wow. All right, what is this? Oh, yeah. So I was putting in an order the other day, and I was like, what? I don't know. It was for Walmart, I guess it was. And I was trying to figure out something else I could get to get free shipping. And then the other thing that I was ordering didn't make it. I couldn't get it. So I was like, crap, I spent all this time. So I may have just gotten this. I don't even know. Yeah, I did get it through Walmart. Godzilla -1. Was eager to get this. Enjoyed the movie, and I'm eager to watch it again. Got it on Blu-ray. Great, fun film, entertaining. Is it the best film ever made? No. And yeah, I don't know. Again, will I see Fantastic Four? Probably not. I did see Superman though. I don't know who saw Superman out there. If you did, let me know. Let me know what you thought about Superman. Or if you saw Fantastic Four, tell me what you think of that. Disco-Rama. Huh. It's their Overstock.com music section, I guess. Because it says Overstock.com. Disco-Rama. Which is done in the same font as Hard Rock Cafe. I wonder if they're ever going to get busted for that. Probably not. So anyway, I've never had this album. And speaking of Song for America, I finally got the first Kansas album. I wanted to have a real version of that. And there she be. And it's the one with the extra tracks. It's the remastered. This painting check out their they have a documentary about Kansas, which I really want to suggest you see it because it's a great film talking about how they got together and how they got started and how they got in league with Don Kirshner and Jeff Blixman eventually to do their stuff. But there's just there's a couple of questions that I still have that I wish would have been covered, but it only goes so far. It stopped at point of no return. So after that, they had 2 for the show, which was the live album from that tour. And then they had Monolith after that and subsequently everything else. So I don't know. I don't know. I kind of want to see a part 2 and I hope they're going to do one. But in the meantime, there's a great anecdote about how he came to get this artwork for the cover. So Phil Ahart, check that out. I was very fortunate to hang out with Phil Ahart years ago at the NAMM show. And it's just very, very cool. Because I've been a huge fan of his drumming ever since I was a kid. And all the great Kansas tunes, especially the album Mask. I still believe that's my favorite. And still the best story is having it at their live concert, standing in the front row over in Illinois at the show in the front. And Robbie Steinhardt goes, he sees I have the record and I had a marker with me there. And he goes, yeah. And he asks me to hand it up to him on stage. And I do. And then he subsequently ends up signing it. And if you know what the Mask album is, I mean, it's in the other room now. I changed things around a bit, but it has this cool mask of, like, I don't know if it's all crustaceans, but it's sea creatures that make up this Indian style mask, right? And then the rest of the albums on the other side is all black, and that's right where he signed it with my black marker. So anyway, now I'm excited about this, and I really this is an interview I'm going to be working on getting, because I really would love to talk to both of these guys, whether separately or together, about this this project, and is the Smith Kotzen project. And this is their brand new album. It's called Black Light, White Noise. I've listened to it. I really enjoyed it. And so I bought it. So I was very fortunate on the first one. We actually play one of the songs in my band from the first album. And I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to put it on the set list for what's coming up, because it's a biker place and we were playing at a Harley Davidson. So I'm just like, I don't know. I thought the other day, maybe not. But I just listened to the song and I'm like, yeah, I think I want to play it because it kicks ass. It's great. It's called Solar Fire. If you haven't heard it, check it out. But yeah, Smith Kotzen, Adrian Smith and Richie Kotzen getting together and doing technically album number 3. They had a live album that they did as well. I think they had an EP, and now they have and then their first one, Smith Kotzen Project, and then now they've got this one. And again, the name of it is Black Light, White Noise. Black Light / White Noise. Do check it out. It's really good. It's good. I don't have any problems telling you about that. Now, I've heard some interesting things about, not a lot, but just the other day I heard that, I guess, Funko, that does Funko Pops, you know, these character things that are behind me here, lost a crap ton of money, like 41 million. And I don't know. I don't know how they are doing, but that feeds into this next piece, because I was thinking about getting an Ozzy Funko. I try not to go too nuts with these, but they do make some fun ones. There are people out there that hate them. One of my favorite podcasters Nerdrotic hates them, and I get it. We all got our thing. For me, this style of art just kind of speaks to me. And I think it's fun. So yeah, I found what was a relatively good price on this one. Of course, the prices are going up, and whatever. But I just wanted to get one, so I did. I got this Ozzy Osbourne Funko Pop. So I'll do a little bit of research and see what's going on with them. If you guys are into those, I did look at their page the other day. It doesn't look like anything is out of whack, so we'll have to find out. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I was just going to bring up and see what we have for a few different headlines. Of course, we lost Lonnie Anderson recently. That was sad. Let's see what we got here. Usually Google's the way I go. Just get on Google and they give you a whole bunch. Of course, mine always brings up music. First of all, we've got interviewers were telling me that I started the whole glam rock hair metal scene. I said, what? Okay, let's see what this is. Don't blame me for that. Drugs, guitars, triumph, and tragedy. The inside story of Hanoi Rocks. Well, there you go. Okay. So they're talking about 40 years ago, after moving to London to invent the movement that would inspire a million LA bands, Finnish upstarts, Hanoi Rocks, self-destructed. This is their story. So if you want to check that out. Are Hanoi Rocks the most underrated rock band of all time? I don't think so. We have to remember that when we talk about the most or the anything, especially when it comes to music, like the greatest guitar players, the greatest whatever it is, we have to remember that everybody's got their favorite for whatever reason it is. And also at the same time as some of these guys that are a little more well-known, maybe underrated, at the same time, there's a lot of bands out there that you're not hearing anything about. And they're just as underrated as anybody else. So the Finnish rockers had everything: anthemic songs, an unrivaled live show, and a killer guitarist in Andy McCoy. And then there was singer Michael Monroe, the most charismatic, photogenic front person, male or female, since Elvis Presley. Okay. I mean, I get what they're saying, but I think there's other people that were just as much. I'm not trying to, down anything on Michael. I mean, he's still out there kicking ass, so that's cool. I'm glad he's out there, and I'd love to have him on the show. But I mean, when it gets to those kind of things, it's just tough to say that for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Something about The Cure. It's a really good chord progression. I couldn't believe no one else had used it. How The Cure sidestepped the gloom and wrote one of the most uplifting songs ever recorded. Again, at least they said one of the most. The Cure's affirming indie pop classic remains the ultimate Friday tune. What do you guys think? If we ask you the question, which happy song genuinely makes you feel uplifted? I mean, I don't know. What about Pharrell Williams? And what about, I don't know, there's a bunch of other ones. What about Shot Through the Heart? And you're to blame. I had a band one time. I was joining a band and they had their song list, right? So I'm looking at the song list and it says Shot Through the Heart. I said, okay, hold on. Is this You Give Love a Bad Name, or is this Shot Through the Heart? I said, because Bon Jovi's got a song called Shot Through the Heart. So, and then they have another song that just has that line in it. So I'm like, which one do you mean? Of course, they meant, you know. What springs to mind? Perhaps something timeless, like Lovely Day by Bill Withers. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, they have everything they're talking about. Or a selection from the expansive, joyous, you know, it's French, of Stevie Wonder. Or maybe something by ABBA is more your taste. We'd have you for hours, we assume, we'd have you for hours, we assume. Okay. Before you'd point toward Goth's arch figureheads, The Cure, as go-to smile inducers. But for our money, it's The Cure's euphoric 1992 single, Friday I'm in Love, which reigns triumphant. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a fun song, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know that everybody's into that song. So anyway, that's what they're saying. Robert Plant on turning down Black Sabbath's Farewell, why there won't be another Led Zeppelin reunion. So you can check that out. Robert Plant reveals a new interview with Mojo that Black Sabbath's Tony Iommi invited him to participate. Monkey's butt. Get off the screen. They want me to subscribe. I don't want to subscribe. Oh, like and subscribe, by the way, while you're here. Check things out. Hopefully we'll be able to build on things that you like. Chime in if you want to. Ask me a question. You got something you may want to ask me, something you want to say, and we'll go from there. There. All right. So Robert Plant reveals, that he was checked in with to participate in their Back to the Beginning farewell show, but declined the offer. The concert in Birmingham, England, turned out to be Ozzy Osbourne's final performance before his death. I said, Tony, I'd love to come, but I can't come. I just can't, the former Led Zeppelin frontman says. I don't know anything about what's going on in that world now at all. I don't decry it. I've got nothing against it. It's just I found these other places that are so rich. That's cool. Plant will release a new album with his acoustic band, Saving Grace, on September 26th, and they'll head out on a U.S. tour on October 30th. Wonder if I can get him on this show. While they've been known to play Led Zeppelin tunes like The Rain Song and Four Sticks at their shows, Plant prefers to stay away from the bigger hits. There you go. So check more of that out. Tool, Weezer, Machine Head, Knocked Loose, Refused, etc. set for 2025 Good Things Festival. Okay. Burning Witches, by the way, also has a new album coming out. If you guys haven't heard some of the new stuff, do check it out. It's kick-ass, just like everything else they've done. I'm so happy that they've got Courtney Cox in the band, and now she's got an album with them. I think that's really, really cool. So, and she is, by the way, a strawberry blonde, not a ginger. She made sure to let me know that today when I mentioned something about her being a ginger. So I wasn't so knowledgeable that there was a difference. So I asked her to straighten that out for me. Well, let's see if we can get back here. There we go. Debate. And here we go. Let's do this one as our last one. Oh boy. Yeah, see here they're doing a ranking thing. Okay, so debate. Who are the big four of classic rock? If you want to chime in real quick while I'm here, who are your big four of classic rock? You guys remember they did the big four of metal: Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer, which, I mean, that's, whatever. And I get it. They all have this, you know, something that ties them, but those aren't my top four. But I get it. I get it. I'm not complaining or saying that's stupid. I think it's great, man. Those all those bands kick ass. I'm not a big Slayer fan, but so the debate: who are the big four of classic rock? So I mean, if I'm gonna say that, you're gonna say black. I mean, the big four: the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, the Who, Black Sabbath. But you really can't do that because it's not fair. There's too many other Blue Cheer. There's, Wishbone Ash. There's so many bands that are on the precipice of all of that. And then there's bands that didn't make it that people are like, well, it wasn't really Black Sabbath that brought out heavy metal. There was this other band, and I think I talked about them a while back on the show too. So I mean, it's tough to say. But chime in. Let me think. Tell me who you think your top four would be. That would be the big four of classic. Because I mean, what do you got? The Stones. I mean, it's. I don't know. Let's see here. For those about to opine, we salute you. Cute. The names of bands that comprise the big four of thrash metal. There it is. Almost universally accepted: Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax. Easy. Well, that's if you're just into those guys. Widen the scope to other eras and genres, and it gets complicated, particularly where it comes to classic rock. How do you carve a new Mount Rushmore when it's so difficult to define what's being celebrated? What is classic rock? I bought that movie. Is it an era? The programmers of classic rock. Oh God, don't even talk to me about programmers. Radio stations in the U.S. would like you to think so. Although, as time passes, their remit has expanded to include artists who weren't around during rock's 70s heyday, but whose sound fits the format. Is it a sound? If Led Zeppelin are the archetypal classic rock band, does their blues-driven sound provide a template, or is that too narrow? Where does that leave Pink Floyd or Genesis, Black Sabbath, Motorhead? Does progressive rock join the club? Does heavy metal? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's all relative. Is it about influence? No single moment inspired more rock musicians to pick up a guitar than the Beatles' appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show, and their later albums created a blueprint for rock to follow. Still, many would balk at their inclusion in the list of great rock bands. Why? Of anybody, the Beatles have to be there. They're the ones that kind of took it. I'm not saying that they created it all. Obviously, there were things that were happening before the Beatles, and the Beatles were into skiffle, and they were into some of the American rock that was happening based off of blues, and then they built off of that. So I mean, it's all standing on the shoulders, of giants. It's all that. And where do the giants begin? There's the question. So, like I say, shoot me a note there and let me know what you guys think. Let's see. Still, many would balk at their inclusion on the list of great rock bands, sniffily confining them to the world of pop. Now, perhaps in the end, it's purely a personal choice. Well, no shit. We all have our own definitions. Oh, yeah. And we all have our own favorites. So what's your pick? How do you define classic rock? And who would be in your personal big four? Yeah. I mean, especially when you're talking about the Beatles, you talk about a band whose members on their own went on to do great things. Oh, yeah. What is this? Popular rock band's singer asked them to replace him. They never wanted to do it. Interesting. They're talking about System of a Down. Perhaps there was a point and time for crying out loud. Really? Is that the way you're going to act? Okay. When System of a Down was considering a new lead singer. Okay. Got close to an audition. Okay. So yeah, check that out. I haven't gotten into System of a Down too much over the years. Oh, interesting. This is about Iron Maiden. Oh yeah, here you go. They're going to talk about Gog Magog. This short-lived heavy metal supergroup from the 80s was formed by a medley of rock icons. Heavy metal supergroups came together often in the 1980s, but one particular group did not last nearly as long as it should have. That heavy metal supergroup was Gog Magog. Never heard of them? You're not alone there. Despite being packed with famous metal talent of the time, this 1985 supergroup didn't make it past 1 year together. Gog Magog released a 3-song EP titled I Will Be There in 1985. The EP features songs I Will Be There, Living in a Fucking Time Warp, and it's illegal, it's immortal, it's unhealthy, but it's fun. And after the EP dropped, the band promptly broke up. So there you go. Iron Maiden was growing in popularity in the mid-1980s, so naturally it only made sense to capitalize on that success by putting together a supergroup composed of several Iron Maiden members, as well as a few other super talented rock stars of the time. Gog Magog, formed in 1985, was formed by producer Jonathan King and featured Iron Maiden singer Paul Di'Anno and drummer Clive Burr. Former Gillan guitarist Janet Years was brought in as well, who would later join Iron Maiden. After he played for Bruce Dickinson. Former Def Leppard shredder Pete Willis was also involved, as was former Whitesnake bassist Neil Murray. How about that? Gog Magog. So check that out. I need to check that out. I don't think I knew of it, but I've never checked it out. Well, all right. So there you go. Okay. And then every time I say that, then here's another one. 3 classic rock songs not from the US or UK we know you love. All right, here we go. Let's just see what they say, and then we'll wrap it up. 3 classic rock songs not from the US or UK we know you love. When the music-loving world thinks about classic rock, almost always bands and songs and albums from either the United States or the United Kingdom spring to mind. Whether you're considering projects like Eagles, not the Eagles, just Eagles, the Beatles, and the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, Jimi Hendrix, or Janis Joplin, most of the most prominent bands originate from the US or the UK. All right, but not every classic. All right, so what are the songs? All right, Back in Black. All right. Australia. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Tom Sawyer by Rush from Canada, and The Wait, which is from Canada. The band is from Canada. Okay. All right. That wasn't as thrilling as I thought it might be. Aerosmith's Joe Perry announces change in drummers for upcoming the Joe Perry Project Tour. Wow, get out. Joe Perry's going to, wow, I saw Joe Perry Project. If you've never checked them out, those first 2 records are great. The third one, just check it out if you want to, but it's not like the first two. So yeah, check out Joe Perry Project, and then subsequently they had they had Let the Music Do the Talking, and then the next one, why can't I say it? It had East Coast, West Coast on it. I've got the Rock and Rolls Again. That was the first album I had by them because I heard East Coast, West Coast on the radio station up in my hometown and got into it. Then I went to see Rush in '81 to see the Moving Pictures tour up at Alpine Valley. And that reminds me, I do have a photo to show you guys next we meet, which is hopefully tomorrow. And we get in there, and I saw some Joe Perry T-shirts in the merch booths, and I was like, "What is going on there?" Because I was very naive to concerts. And then they got on stage and they started playing Toys in the Attic, and I'm like, "Oh, I get it." So that was fantastic. What a great surprise. So yeah, check that out, Joe Perry Project. Wow, cool. Eddie Van Halen's 1982 guitar headed to auction for the first time. You can check that out. And one last headline, Mark Knopfler on why one of Dire Straits' most iconic tracks hinges on this 4-note guitar intro. I think that's the one where they're talking about Money for Nothing. Yep. And then there's a picture. Who is that? That's Randy Rhoads and George Lynch, I think it is. The big four of 80s hard rock guitarists. No, Eddie Van Halen doesn't count. Okay. All right. Wow. All right. So some cool things to check out. Let's keep chatting about whatever you guys want to hear about. Let me know. I've got some people that are going to be coming up. There's a band called Cyanide that have a brand new album coming out. My friend Mike Floros from Steel City and Love and Chains got a hold of me the other day and introduced me to gentlemen from that band. So they have a new album coming out, and I'll be talking with them. And we have some other things coming from Dave Tedder, who's got Head First Entertainment out in Las Vegas. And of course, Blitz. Guys, stay on top of this Blitz thing because it's coming. This Rock City Symphony. This is an album that I did a piece on it. You'll soon probably see a promo piece with my voice on there as well. And so keep your eye out for this Rock City Symphony. If you haven't checked out their other videos that have been coming out to kind of fill the gap between their last album and this upcoming release, they've got some great covers out there. They did Larger Than Life. They also did Devil Woman, and and White Wedding is out there too. So check those out. But check out Stuart Corden and Kevin and Matt doing Blitz, and we're looking at some album cover pieces. I've got to put some things together for that, and I'm kind of helping out with graphic design. They have a wonderful artist that they've now got. They had an original artist that did their first albums, but now they're working with a gentleman named David, and he's doing some great work. And so he's doing a lot of the illustration work, and then I'm trying to help out with graphic design. So we'll see what happens. But it sounds great. The music is awesome. You guys are going to love this album if you'd love to rock. And I'm serious. This is going to be a big record for them. Band again is Blitz. Check out their stuff. Their videos are out there, and Stuart Corden's been on the show multiple times. He and I have gotten to be bass brothers and frontmen brothers, and it's fantastic stuff. But they've written it, and they're doing it on their own. So that's what I'm talking about, folks. The industry of music, not the music industry. We need to become the industry of music. All right. So, hey, you guys from Ozzy and everybody else, we say a fond good night. Everybody take care of yourselves. Have a great day tomorrow. And you know, keep yourselves safe. Keep yourselves... Well, it's easy to stay warm right now, isn't it? So, and remember, when you step out your door every day, you're in everybody else's world. They're not in yours. So act accordingly. Stop listening to your frickin' phone out loud in a store that's already playing stuff. Don't talk to your grandkids or whoever in the middle of a restaurant on your phone. Oh my God. Oh my God. Have a good one, folks.